Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
It has been a bit of a circus in the majors this year. Teams up and down, division leads seized, others given away. The AL Central has been tight throughout, and it remains that way with just 5 games left on the regular season docket. Detroit nursing a 1-game lead entering play today over the Royals, and the magic number is at 5. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Matinee Baseball. Alongside my partner, Rod Allen, I'm Matt Shepard, filling in for Mario and Pemba. You're like the batting instructor, for crying out loud, helping everybody along, and this is a marquee showdown, not just in the American League, Rod, but in all of baseball. Justin Verlander lives for these moments, doesn't he?
Justin Verlander, for me, pitched his best outing of the season 5 days ago against the Kansas City Royals, and really he took a page out of Porcello's book. He had about 12 ground ball outs. He had a handful of strikeouts, but that was cool. But what he did was he got lots of ground balls with fastballs all over the strike zone. He really had a good curveball. He used slider and also his changeup. Justin Verlander did not walk one batter, and we also saw him touch 95 a couple of times in the game. Most of the fastballs 90, 91. So I think we're seeing the transformation of Justin Verlander without that real big fastball.
You know, Brad Oswald's told us before the game, too, might have had his best curveball of the night that night. He is 2-1 against the White Sox so far this season and averaging almost a strikeout per inning. His opponent, Chris Sale, just the second time these two will ever square off, and you think he's got something really important to pitch for today.
Well, Felix Hernandez, he really stubbed his toe last night in Toronto. He gave up 8 earned runs, and that opens up the Cy Young Award for Chris Sale. Sale is in the conversation. He's already going to win the ERA title in the American League, but look at the arm slot. This guy, when he's on the mound, left-handers, they take the day off. Left-handers 165 against Sale. Right-handers not much better. This stuff, guys got plus stuff, 95, 96, unhittable slider toward that back foot, and he's got a real nice changeup. It's been a long time since baseball has seen a left-hander like Sale. You got to go all the way back to the big unit, Randy Johnson.
The only time he faced Justin Verlander, he lost 4-2. Stick around. After a quick break, we head back to the Coliseum Studios in Justin White. Miguel Cabrera hasn't hit Chris Sale all that well, but boy, was he awesome last night. His 19th game-winning RBI of the season. Tigers and White Sox right around the corner. Stay with us. Barely a breeze. The season series wrap-up between the Tigers and the White Sox here on Fox Sports Detroit. Here's the White Sox batting order presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Adam Eaton and Alexei Ramirez combined for 4 for 8 with 2 runs scored last night. And Diane Viciedo has 5 homers and 10 ribbies over his last 19. Jose Abreu has murdered Tigers pitching all season long. Today's starting pitcher, Justin Verlander, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Verlander looking for his 15th win this afternoon against 12 losses. The earned run average, a career high, 4.68 for Justin Verlander, making his final start of the season.
2-1 against the White Sox this season. Last time out, you mentioned it in the opening, against Kansas City. Maybe his best stuff, Rod, in a 7 1/3 inning, 103 pitch performance. 1-1 to Adam Eaton, who is a pest, but a really good ball player. Second in the American League in leadoff on-base percentage at .362.
I thought that Justin's last outing 5 days ago against Kansas City, his best performance of the year. One of the things that he did very well in that game, he moved the fastball around. He kept it south of the knees because he got 12 ground balls in the game, and he did not walk a batter.
2-1 pitch to Eaton. Caught the corner.
Real nice fastball there thrown by Justin Verlander. 92 miles an hour on the outside black to, as you put it, the pesky leadoff hitter, Adam Eaton.
Needs to be aggressive. David Price, you and John Keating were talking about it last night. Price very aggressive inside and outside with the fastball. This one fouled back and remains 2-2.
David Price got some of the easiest outs in last night's game that he had gotten as a Tiger because he did work inside so efficiently through the first 6 innings. The one thing that he did not do, he didn't do it in the 9th inning when he ended up giving up those 3 runs.
Kind of went away from that fastball. A little change up, some sliders. That one just missed, and it's full.
You must keep Eaton off the base paths. He's an energy guy. He likes to steal a lot of bases. When he is in the lineup, this Chicago White Sox team, they've got a formidable offense.
Covers a lot of ground defensively as well. Foul back, and he'll make pitchers work, won't he? I mean, those are the kinds of teams that really drive, at least we here in Detroit, Tiger fans crazy.
That's why if you go up against a guy like Eaton and you're Justin Verlander and you're playing in a big ballpark like Comerica Park, you want contact on the first 2 or 3 pitches. Let him hit it as far as he can. He's not going to hit it out of here.
He does have 9 triples on the year. This one is punched to center. Rajai Davis is right there. Boy, he was positioned perfectly, and there's 1 up and 1 down.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense this afternoon behind Justin Verlander. Martinez, Davis, Hunter in the outfield. Andrew Romine, he has been stellar at the shortstop position. Only 1 miscue in 47 games since June 13th. Kinsler at second. Castellanos and Miggy on the corners. And B. Holiday getting his first start of the series.
Brings up Alexei Ramirez. Batting .276. Threat to go deep with 15 bombs on the year. Takes the first pitch strike.
He's going to win a Silver Slugger this year as far as the shortstops are concerned, with his 15 home runs and 72 driven in. He's had a nice year, Alexei Ramirez.
Slicing right in front of Hunter, and it'll be a base hit. You can tell by just looking at your television screen that today's field conditions, which is presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company, are nearly ideal for fans and ball players.
And very important here for Justin Verlander to make sure that he does not allow Alexei Ramirez to steal at second base. Alexei checks in with 21 steals, but if Alexei does steal, that will allow Justin to pitch around Jose Abreu if he chooses to do so.
That surprised me a little bit. When I saw that he had 21 stolen bags, that surprised me.
He's a good base runner. He's a good base stealer. But he does not get out of the batter's box very fast. That would be Ramirez. He's grounded into a ton of double plays, too. Justin with a very quick move. Those of you that have watched Tigers games over the years, he will pick off quite a few batters. Base runners, excuse me.
Love to see that here, considering Abreu stands in. Batting .397 against Detroit in his career. skied to center. Second put out in the inning by Rajai Davis. That's big right there. He went 0 for 4 last night. Abreu did with 2 Ks. And to get him that early in a pitch count and a lazy fly ball to center.
A couple of the outs that Abreu made in last night's game were on the first pitches from David Price as well. Lazy fly balls to the outfield.
So Connor Gillespie stands in. He's the cleanup hitter for Robin Ventura's ball club today. 0 for 4 in the series. He was a pinch hitter last night. Quick throw over to first and drew a walk. With great theater last night. I know it kept a lot of us on the edge of our seat. Made us a little uncomfortable in the ninth. But it really was good baseball theater last night.
Here's some of those numbers on Justin Verlander regarding pickoffs since he came to the big leagues in 2006. Among right-handed pitchers, he has 24. That ranks him third.
Gillespie takes a first pitch strike. So important for a pitcher to get ahead early in the count. And Verlander, look, Brian Holiday's behind the plate. Last time he was out, James McCann was the catcher for Verlander. Not sure how much it matters. Verlander calls his game anyway, doesn't
he? He really does.
This one is a line drive to right, and this will drop in front of Torrey Hunter. And Chicago's got runners at the corners with 2 down.
A little changeup there thrown by Justin Verlander to Gillespie, who was a pretty good hitter. And Gillespie breaks his bat, but that bat died a hero because he got himself a base hit in the shallow right field. You can see the grip on the circle change thrown by Justin Verlander, fading away from the left-hander Gillespie.
Neither base hit very hard against Verlander so far. But it doesn't matter. We've got runners at the corner for former Tiger Avisail Garcia.
Garcia, a very aggressive hitter, but also a very dangerous hitter. So if you're Justin Verlander, you might want to start him off with a really good breaking ball, maybe a slider, to see if you can get him to chase something.
Garcia hitting .299 with 3 homers and 15 RBIs in his last 20.
Well, they expect him to bat right in the middle of their batting order for the next decade.
0-1. Well, that outfield with Eaton, Disaedo, and Avisail Garcia, those guys will all enter their prime together. They're about 25 years old apiece, so this is the future of the Chicago outfield.
They're all strong, too. They're all power hitters. They get themselves another table setter to go along with Eaton. They'll have a much better balanced offense.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung through it, and it's 0-2.
First innings this year have been troublesome for Justin Verlander. His earned run average this season alone in first innings is nearly 6. And so very important for him to continue to expand the strike zone here of Garcia and to make sure he chases something to get a swing and miss.
See if he climbs the ladder here. Got him to roll it over to short. Romine shovels it to Kinsler. White Sox threaten. Verlander gets out of it. Money time for Detroit and their ace. They come to net. Tigers in the victory over the White Sox, and he will bat third in Brad Ausmus's lineup. Here's the Tigers batting order, presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Ian Kinsler now a staple atop that lineup. JD Martinez has hit .341 in his last 42 games, and Rajai Davis 4 for 10 in his career against Chris Sale.
Chris Sale's got dirty stuff. You take a peek at his numbers. He's won 12 games this year. He's lost 4. He has spent some time on the disabled list, but that should not hurt his Cy Young chances this year. 2 strikeouts away from 200. He's simply dominant. He's one of the best left-handers in the game of the baseball. The Tigers have their work cut out for them this afternoon.
That whip is second in the American League. The batting average against Chris Sale.
He's coming off a poor start as well, where he gave up quite a few runs in a loss to the Kansas City Royals.
They got to him early, Rod. He only lasted 5 innings, scattered 9 hits, but gave up 5 earned runs. And Kinsler looks at a first pitch strike. The batting average against Chris Sale this year, 205. Rod, that's third best in the American League.
He's got a fastball that will top out at about 96 miles an hour. Average heater about 94. He's got a really good changeup, well above average changeup, and he likes to throw that back foot slider to the right-handed batters. Brad Ausmus has all 9 right-handed bats in his lineup today.
His ERA is number 1 in the American League. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and it's 2-1. His strikeouts are 6. He's in his 4th year from Florida Gulf Coast, which became a little bit more famous a few years ago when they made that run in the NCAA tournament.
It sure did.
Check swing, but it was over anyway. It's 2-2.
Today's going to be one of those grind them out days for the Tigers against Sale. Usually he does not give in. Usually there's not big numbers posted against him.
And he works quick.
Guys simply have to put themselves in the best situation to succeed here today against Sale.
We asked Brad Ausmus what's the key to getting to him. He says, you know, sometimes you just sit on a pitch and hope he throws it. He's just really nasty. He's got really quality stuff. And it's not just the fastball. The slider, he's got the curveball. Barely missed.
Already using quite a few changeups here is Chris Sale in the first inning, but that's what he'll do. He'll keep you off balance. Breaking ball, changeup, fastball, mid-90s. He thought that was strike 3, but Mike Winters, the crew chief, didn't give him the call.
It was borderline. This one was pop foul. Talk about his numbers, and here's how he ranks in the American League in those important numbers. Just the gaudy ones, none of them below 3rd.
About a month ago, King Felix Hernandez of the Seattle Mariners was running away with the Cy Young, but not anymore. Chris Sale very much in that conversation, making his final start of the season.
Payoff pitch misses.
Let's take a look at the Chicago White Sox starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Stanks, Eaton, Garcia in the outfield this afternoon. Gillespie, Ramirez, Simeon, Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers, he's a catcher. They've been kicking that baseball around the last 20 days. 20 errors for the White Sox. Not a really good defensive team this year.
What's interesting, Simeon started at 3rd last night. He's playing 2nd today. He's played a little outfield for this club. They're trying to find a place for him, aren't they?
He can play some shortstop too, Simeon. They also started playing him in left field in the minor leagues this year, maybe anticipating that he'll be one of those guys that moves all around the place, because Simeon can hit. Outstanding at bat by Ian Kinsler to lead off this baseball game.
So important in the 9th last night. Scores the game-winning run on Miguel Cabrera's single to left.
That was an 8-pitch at bat by Ian.
And because of his bunting threat, it forced Gillespie in tight at 3rd. Torrey Hunter swings and misses. Hunter with a double and an RBI last night.
Already a lot of changeups thrown here in the first inning by Sale. That's probably his game plan coming in, but it's not just a changeup. But did you see that arm slot? I mean, that's what's wicked about this guy. It looks like the ball's coming from the second baseman.
He picked the ball up so late in his delivery. That one's in tight. It gets by Flowers, allowing Kinsler to trot to second.
Tigers must capitalize here in the very first inning with a runner on second and nobody out. Usually against really good pitchers, you can get them early, but once you allow them to settle in, that's when they get nasty. So you've got to get Sale now that he's on the ropes.
That's what Kansas City did last week in a 6-2 win over Chris Sale. They hit a couple of bombs off him too, by the way.
Torrey Hunter will be trying to hit something to the right side of the infield. That would get Kinsler over to third for the game's best hitter.
They charged Flowers with a passed ball on that play. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Torrey Hunter.
That's a tough pass ball.
Sure is. Hunter with 82 RBIs. Batting .287.
That swing right there, that last swing by Torrey Hunter was too big. You don't need that kind of swing right here. Not in this situation, not against Sale. Hit the ball to the right side of the infield.
He's done that so well this season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Broken back, rounder to third. Gillespie with a nice play. The ovation should be loud. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people start standing for Miguel Cabrera.
Why wouldn't they? He comes up big in these situations, and he's done it his entire major league career. A runner in scoring position, ball at the bottom of the strike zone, through the seam on the left side. Ian Kinsler, game winner.
Make sure you get the salute in there to the captain. 19 game-winning RBIs now, tied for first in the American League for Cabrera. Stands in with a runner at second and one down.
And Simeon, who was playing second base today, basically playing in the back pocket of Ian Kinsler, the base runner at second. Kinsler has a reputation of stealing third base. At least he did when he was with Texas. And therefore, Simeon not going to allow Ian to get a big jump from second if he's entertaining the thought of stealing third.
Big swing by Cabrera, and he missed it. It's 1-1.
This has been one matchup where Sale has kind of had the best of Miggy. There's not many guys that you can say have had their way against Miguel Cabrera, but Sale is one of them guys.
6 for 27 for Cabrera in his career against Sale.
And Sale doesn't back away from anybody. He goes right after the best hitters in the game.
The 2 of those 6 hits, Rod, were homers. There's the 1-1 pitch. Fooled him. 1-2.
That's 96 with some tilt on it. That wasn't a straight fastball. That had some movement.
Yeah.
What's going to be interesting, though, is if he is able to get Miguel Cabrera out, what does he do with Victor Martinez in the on-deck circle with an open base and Victor's gaudy numbers against him?
Walking?
I don't think he will.
Well, the competitor in Chris Sale would say no.
Oh, you would think that he would.
But, you know, considering Victor Martinez's numbers are off the charts against him, be smart baseball to do just that. Here's the 1-2 pitch again, and he got it looking.
Well, that question is about to be answered for us. What Sale will do against Victor. Oh, what a pitch by Sale. I mean, he threw him a 96-mile-per-hour fastball to get strike 2. Then he comes back with his breaking ball from that arm slide, and Miggy couldn't pull the trigger.
Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Victor Martinez has that Bernstein advantage against Chicago and against Chris Sale. Gaudy numbers against Chris Sale. 15 for 28. That's a .536 average with 3 homers. And here comes Robin Ventura to talk to Chris Sale about it.
Well, that's the same conversation that you and I have just had. You've got a base open. Chris Sale is looking to win a Cy Young. He's also looking to win an ERA title. Verlander's pitching on the other side. I mean, why would you want to give up some runs here? We just showed you the numbers, .536.
Yeah, it's crazy. You and I talked with Victor Martinez in the clubhouse earlier. We asked him, how do you explain your success against Chris Sale? And he says, I think it's one of those cases where it's better to be lucky than good.
Right.
And we both kind of smiled at him and said, come on, you're way too good for that. He says, you know what, he likes to challenge me, and I'm up for a challenge all the time.
Here's some of the damage that Victor has done against Sale this year. He's already shot him twice this year. I guarantee you the Kansas City Royals watching this game in Cleveland, they're hoping right now that Victor Martinez gets 4 wide ones, but they're going to pitch to him. at least appear like they're going to pitch to him.
Interesting visit in the very first inning. What great respect people have for Victor Martinez, and he's earned it. He stands in with a runner in scoring position and 2 down. How careful will he pitch it?
Well, we'll see. That first pitch, he bounced up there.
Martinez hasn't just burned Sale, he's burned the White Sox. In his career, he has 194 hits against the Chicago franchise, second most of any player in the American League. 0 for 2 last night, Rod, but on base twice, a walk and an intentional free pass. Missed outside, and it's 2-0.
Breaking ball down out of the strike zone. 92 4-seam fastball clearly off the plate. Now they're just going to put him on because Victor would not leave the strike zone.
Does that mean you and I were both right?
We were both right, yeah. We're off to a good start today, buddy.
Crowd doesn't like it, but that's just smart baseball. All right. Our predictions for today's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for only $2. I've got the man who just was intentionally walked. Rod has the guy who starts in the mound, and Lindsey Hayes has JD Martinez, who stands in right now. And I'll say it as clear as day. I hope she's right, because that means JD Martinez would come through in this clutch situation. JD Martinez batting .231 in his career against Chris Sale.
Already a lot of off-speed pitches thrown here in the very first inning by Sale. If you're the Tigers hitters, that's something that you need to put in your memory bank for the next couple of innings to see if he develops that pattern.
Kinsler a leadoff walk. He's on second base after a pass ball, and he's remained there for the last 3 hitters. JD Martinez waits, swings to a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Right-handers hitting only .215 this season overall against Chris Sale. Left-handers, they're hitting .165 against Chris.
That's crazy.
And he has not given up 1 home run this year to lefties. Not one.
.02 pitch. Checked it.
There's that back foot slider. And we haven't seen a pitch like this since Randy Johnson retired. And the big unit, he stood about 6 feet 10 inches, and he had that huge wingspan, and he would drop that slider at the back foot of the right-handed hitters.
That's when he was winning 4 consecutive Cy Young Award winners.
Unbelievable.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging. 200 strikeouts on the year for Chris Sale, including 2 in this inning. And we're scoreless after 1. America Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. And by Oscar Mayer, Deli Fresh Lunch Meat. The freshness you see is what you taste. Scoreless after one. Tigers hoping to taste victory yet again today. If so, it would be their 88th knockout. They are 17 games above the break even. Justin Verlander threw 16 first inning pitches, 13 for strikes. Each batter he started a first pitch strike with, and does so here. And this is belted to left center field by Diane Visayito. Good job covering ground by Rajai Davis. One pitch, one up, one down.
Rajai Davis has already been very busy out in center field. It's the third fly ball he's caught.
Well, it's interesting. He's had to move sometimes to left, to center. While talking with him before the game, what did he tell us? I like center. I'm more comfortable. I get better angles toward the baseball. I see it better. He told me that sometimes the lights get in the way. I have a problem with the lights in left field. So center field a little bit better fit for Rajai Davis.
Well, you talk to anybody that has played both positions, guys that are capable of playing both, they will tell you they prefer center over left or right. The ball usually comes to you straight on. You're usually not getting slices, and you're getting a good look at the hitter when he makes contact with the baseball.
Jordan Danks swings and misses. He's in this lineup primarily for his defense.
Also against Verlander today, the right-hander, Robin Ventura, trying to get as many left-handed bats in his lineup as he can. Both guys have good changeups today, Verlander and Chris Sale.
Verlander quickly ahead.
Verlander's changeup so good, he backs it up. And to Danks.
Danks in his third stint with the White Sox this year. And I mentioned primarily because of his defense. Although the last 6 games, he is 6 for 16. He won't be here. Swings and misses. And Justin Verlander has had a very efficient second inning thus far.
Well, we talked about Verlander's last outing against Kansas City. He looked the best to me that he looked all year. He gave up just 1 run in that game. Didn't give up a lot of hits. Had a decent fastball, good breaking ball, good off-speed pitch.
Tyler Flowers stands in. He took the night off last night, hit a 2-run homer, and that was all that Chicago needed against Kyle Lobstein in the first game of this 3-game series. Kyle Lobstein's been very good.
He's going to get the ball on Saturday night.
Off speed, and Verlander looks like he's on the money so far here this afternoon. He's ahead 0-2.
He throws the same pitch, whether it be that curveball or whether it be the changeup or the fastball slider, all out of the same window, all with the same arm speed.
Tapper to short, no problem for Romine. 1, 2, 3, really good 8-pitch inning for Justin Verlander. We head to the bottom of the second. No blood drawn. last run. Thursday, it's halfway to St. Patrick's Day when the Tigers take on the Minnesota Twins at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans receive a green Tigers hat. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Castellanos, Holiday, and Romine for Detroit here in the second. Beautiful day. Second day of fall, believe it or not. Castellanos, as you saw, 2 for 7 in the series, 1 for 8 in his career against Chris Sale. Swings through it. Talking with him in the clubhouse, how do you approach Chris Sale? Castellanos said, you got to make sure you're looking for a mistake. If he makes a mistake, you've got to capitalize on it. You can't miss it. You can't overthink it, though, either. The Sale will keep you guessing, and it's 1-1.
Sale's one of those guys, because his stuff is so good, you can't go up there trying to cover all 17 inches of home plate. You either got to look in or you have to look away. And as Castellanos said, when he leaves the ball up and he makes a mistake with a changeup or a breaking ball, then you just can't miss it. Real simple delivery, gets to a really nice balanced spot, which allows the arm to catch up. And then he gives you that low 3/4 arm slot where hitters will literally tell you that it looks like the ball is coming from the second baseman.
Two pitch. Another strikeout, his third of the game. Brings up Brian Holiday. Was Holiday busy before the game or what? He was looking at every single piece of video he possibly could. Not just for Justin Verlander, but also at Chris Sale.
He wants to make sure he does his job today. He's a defensive-minded catcher, which is what you're supposed to be if you're a backup, but it's nice if you can contribute offensively.
Swings at the first pitch offering and follows it back. You talk to every Tiger pitcher, what they really respect about Brian Holiday is how he has worked so diligently, how he goes to school. He goes in that film room, he studies it. He wants to make sure not just he, but also they are as prepared as possible. Another foul back.
And Brad Ausmus was talking about him just a couple of days ago and says he does not have to worry about Brian Holiday. He's a high energy guy.
Pops it up right in front of us.
And Flowers, the catcher, wanted that fastball a little bit higher, and Sale didn't quite get it to the height and that Flowers wanted it. Brian Holiday has really good numbers this year overall against White Sox pitching, hitting nearly 400.
2 strikeouts in a row for Chris Sale. Make it 3 if you date it back to J.D. Martinez in the first.
Sale is on one today.
You kind of anticipated this.
Well, I mean, he's pitching for something. He's the leader in the clubhouse with the ERA as we speak at 2.20, and he's in that Cy Young conversation too with Felix Hernandez. It's a big start for him.
Nothing wrong with pitching for something individually at this time of the year when your club is out of it.
Coming off a poor start
right
5 days ago against the Kansas City Royals, he wants to go into the offseason with a good taste in his mouth.
1-1 against Detroit this year. 1-1 the count on Andrew Romine. Had one at bat last night. Takes it high and tight. Sale averaging a strikeout per inning this year in his starts against the Tigers. Already 4 here this afternoon. Here's the 2-1 delivered. Popped up. Right side of the infield for Jose Abreu. And another 1-2-3 innings here at Comerica Park. Scoreless after 2. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. By Arby's, we have the meats. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest price, period. Bell Tire. We head to the top of the third, scoreless here in Detroit between the Tigers and the White Sox. Justin Verlander against Chris Sale. This is the marquee showdown in all of baseball today because of what's at stake and because of who's pitching. And Justin Verlander loves this time of the year. Rod, say what you want about the season he's had this year and maybe last year, but when it comes to crunch time, he's one of those guys you want on the bump. Well,
those numbers right there validate an ace, a horse, a guy that can really finish off a season. Justin Verlander is well documented since putting on the Tigers uniform, really. Over 200 innings per year, and a lot of those innings are very efficient innings.
9-1-2 in the Chicago order. Marcus Semien will lead it off, playing second today after starting at third last night. 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. Verlander dealing. First pitch strikes. One and one.
I like that last pitch by Verlander, 90-mile-per-hour fastball inside, which opens up the outside corner for a fastball or a breaking ball should he want to go out there.
Get them leaning a little bit, huh? This one is ripped to short. Nice play by Romine. Good arm across the diamond.
Verlander got away with a pitch right there. They were going back inside with a fastball, and Semien's got some really quick hands. He jumped on this fastball, hit it in the hole to Romine. Romine, boy, has he been steady at shortstop. He catches everything, and his arm is very accurate.
And Verlander acknowledges it.
Yeah, Verlander, if he's going to go inside with that fastball, he needs to make sure he goes in there off the plate to the righties.
Top of the order with Adam Eaton. Takes the first pitch strike. Enjoyed the conversation we had with Andrew Romine earlier today. He adjusts literally on every single pitch. Eaton was involved in a situation last night where in the ninth he slapped it up the middle. Romine was expecting an outside fastball from David Price. He got it, and it's 1-1 here. But Eaton, who usually slaps it to the left side of the infield, actually turned on and got it up the middle. They had him played perfectly. It just happened to be Eaton didn't do what he usually does.
And Romine, very smart baseball player.
Really is.
I mean, he knows exactly where the pitches are going. He knows what pitches are being called. And he just makes that adjustment ever so slightly when the ball gets into the hitting zone to make sure he doesn't tip to the hitters which direction he's moving, but he puts himself in the best possible position to make a play.
Verlander's 2-1 pitch.
I know we talked about this earlier, Shep, but Romine, when he was young, his dad, Kevin Romine, was a big league player, but after his dad retired, every time Omar Vizquel came to Anaheim to play against the Angels, his dad would make him go to the games with him, and he would tell him to focus on Vizquel. Don't take your eyes off him, no matter what he does, whether it be at the shortstop position in the batting cage. Watch Omar Vizquel.
A good role model to have. Second strikeout of the day for Justin Verlander. And Vizquel, ironically enough, now his infield coach. You know, it's interesting. I used to go to Tiger Stadium all the time with my father. He told me to watch Alan Trammell all the time. And then you have the tendency to kind of act and do the things that role model played for you. And not that Andrew Romine is similar to, Omar Vizquel, who's, should be in the Hall of Fame with the number of hits that he has, but he sure can't pick it at short. And he'll get another test here. Why not? 3 up and 3 down. Really efficient. Well done by Verlander and the defense behind him. If the Tigers can scratch something across, it could sail after this. good baseball, aren't they?
You know,
a threat.
I was looking at some numbers on their starting rotation. I mean, there's really not a marquee name guy there, but they've got 5 guys that have been really good. Buck Showalter's a good manager, and they've had a great year.
He's already named Chris Tillman his Game 1 starter for the ALDS.
Yeah, Tillman's been very good.
Rajai Davis, Ian Kinsler, and Torrey Hunter here in the 3rd for Detroit. How good was Rajai Davis last night? Not just getting on base. The hit and run gets him to 2nd. He steals 3rd, but the ground he covered in center field, looking much more comfortable. It's 1-1 after that fastball at the knees.
Rajai Davis showed last night why the Tigers acquired him. And for games just like that, when it's a very close game, you have a guy that can come in and steal your base and create some havoc on the base pass. You get the pitcher thinking about something else. You steal a base and you score yourself a gift run, as he did. If you missed this, this was Rajai last night getting on a single, and then he was on the move on a hit and run with Kinsler. He got to 3rd. He got the 2nd, stole 3rd. Then Fegley threw the ball into left field. He scampered home for the first run of the day, and then he got on base once again late in the game. Also came home to score a Torrey Hunter base hit.
Staying alive here, 1-2. I asked him before the game, what's the difference in stealing 3rd? It's the 7th stolen base of 3rd this year. And he said, I'm closer to the bag. Now, the catcher's closer to 3rd, too, but he says, my leadoff, I'm closer to 3rd than I am to 2nd. Not saying that it's easier, but he feels really comfortable doing it. His 34th stolen base of the season. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grounder wide of 3rd. They're going to have to hurry to get him. Ramirez can't. And that's an infield base hit for Rajai Davis.
Talking about that speed that Rajai Davis possesses. That's about as well a play as you're going to see from the shortstop, Alexi Ramirez. Not only is he long and rangy with his body, but he also has a very good throwing arm. And once he gets there, even though he's throwing from an awkward angle, he still gets enough on his throw to get most base runners, but not Rajai Davis. Here's Rajai running.
Craig Monroe and I were talking in the postgame last night. I don't care what sport it is, speed kills. Wide receiver in football, defense in hockey. You get speed in basketball out on the wings. In baseball, is pretty evident with Rajai Davis, and he's a threat now to put pressure on this defense and keep Chris Sale's mind sometimes wandering a little bit with a guy on first base. Like
and
that.
Ian Kinsler. I mean, a lot of times when Rajai's on first base, that pitcher throws you a fastball.
Kinsler 6 for 22 in his career, or 6 for 21 in his career against Sale. Walked his first time up.
Nice slide step there by Chris Sale. He took very little time getting the ball out of his hand into the catcher's glove. Flowers. If Rajai is going to steal, he better get a good jump. He got that ball to the catcher in about 1 second, which is exceptionally quick.
Foul tipped it into the glove of Tyler Flowers. That's what good pitchers do, Rod. They get a guy on base, it doesn't really matter. They get ahead of the next hitter. 0-2. Pitchers count now. Suddenly, Chris Sale's in control here. Just at that.
He really is. But if you're Rajai Davis on first base, you have to anticipate that Sale might bounce that breaking ball. If he does, you have to be ready to get yourself into scoring position. Different move there that time from Sale. He stepped off.
Move. Yeah, I like it.
Snap throw.
Got to mix that up, don't you? You see Scherzer with different levels of waiting. Otherwise, runners can time you easier. Kinsler in an 0-2 hole. Pops it up to right. Avisail Garcia in his tracks. And there's one down. Tickets for potential American League Division Series games are on sale right now. Guaranteed tickets for all potential Tigers postseason games by placing a 2015 season ticket deposit. Visit Tigers.com for details. Tigers' magic number is 2 to qualify for the postseason. To win the division, the magic number is 5. If they reach the postseason, it would be the 4th straight year in this franchise history. It's the first time it will be ever be done in 4 consecutive seasons. Council trying to reach 90 wins or more for the 21st time in the history of the Tigers franchise that started in 1901. That pitch just outside. Here's what's at stake today. Seattle and Toronto square off later on today. We'll want to keep an eye on that tonight. Tigers win and Mariners lose. Detroit's in. 1-0 pitch to Torrey Hunter. Golfed foul. Mark Burley, by the way, throws for Toronto tonight, in case you're wondering, against Juan Walker for Seattle. Mariners have spiraled out of control almost.
Yeah, Lloyd McClendon held them together as long as he could.
Yeah. Starting pitching just hasn't done the job lately.
They have not.
And that was their bread and butter to begin with. They weren't an offensive club. They're defensive oriented and pitching. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Torrey Hunter. This should drop, and it does. Couple of hits in the inning. The first two of the game for the Tigers. They have runners at first and second with only one down.
We brought this up earlier in the contest, the fact that Chris Sale's thrown so many off-speed pitches today. Torrey Hunter is one of those veteran hitters that might go up there and sit on a pitch. That is a changeup that's well located, and the only reason you hit a pitch like that is you're looking for it. In the back of your mind, you're sitting on something soft. And that's a nice job there by Torrey Hunter.
21 hits in 16, now 17 games against the White Sox this year. On the season, batting .333 against Chicago. It's not, we've said it time and time again, whether it be pregame, postgame, you and Mario during games, he doesn't play like a 38, 39-year-old. He's got a 10-game hitting streak now. That's Torrey Hunter.
Big moment in the game right now for Sale.
Cabrera struck out looking in his first at-bat.
Over-aggressive swing there by Miguel. If you're Miguel, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Sale is going to give you something to hit with Victor Martinez in the on-deck circle. And it's not often you say that Miggy's not getting pitched around.
Right.
But he's going to get something to hit. But Miggy left the strike zone there on that first pitch from Chris Sale. Over-aggressive.
What do you think, he was trying to go to right with it? That was
nope.
Outside?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Just trying to be the aggressor.
Good speed at second. Decent speed at first. Maybe exceptional speed at second is a better way to put it. Again, Davis stole third last night, his 7th theft of third base this season. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Miguel Cabrera. Tapped it foul, and it's an 0-2 count.
And Miggy's left the strike zone on the first two pitches thrown by Sale at 86 miles an hour, both off the plate.
I would guess Sale would stay out there, wouldn't he?
He may as well go back out there again to see if Miggy will swing at it.
.406 in the month of September for Miguel Cabrera. 34 for 84 coming into the game today. 0-2 pitch, just in tight. Victor Martinez lurking. Second time in 3 innings, the Tigers have had a pair of runners on. Couldn't get it done in the first. See if they can get it done here. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Miguel Cabrera. Late. Cabrera hit his 51st double of the season last night. Leads the American League. Third in hits with 186. Second in extra base hits with 75.
For most big league players, that would be considered a career year. But for Miguel, and most people think he's had a down season. That's a shocker.
It is. 2-2. It's a good point, Rod. I mean, He set the bar so high, it's almost impossible to reach it.
He's going to score 100 runs. He's driven in over 100. You talked about the 51 doubles, 300 total bases.
For a team that is in first place.
Hitting nearly 320. And he's done most of it on one leg this year.
Right. 19 game-winning RBIs, the 19th coming last night. That is #1 in the American League. He's worked the count 2-2. Second time Miguel Cabrera has struck out in this one against Chris Sale.
Well, Sale is just tough on Miguel. We gave you the numbers earlier that Miguel just does not have good success against Chris. But Miggy helped him out by leaving the strike zone on the first 2 pitches. Then Miggy kind of dials it back. He gets a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He fouls straight back. And then Sale really slows down a breaking ball to get Miggy to swing over the top of it.
Before Victor Martinez can even get into the batter's box, Tyler Flowers went out to the mound to talk with Chris Sale. So 2 times Victor Martinez has come up today. 2 times Chicago has had some type of conversation, some type of meeting on the mound.
He went out there for 2 reasons this time, Shep. One, Rajay Davis was out there for about 5 or 6 pitches to Miggy. So he knows what the signs are, just in case he's cheating and he's trying to relay signs to Victor. And then the second point is, first base is not open, but third base is open. So they still have an open base for Victor Martinez should they choose to use it.
An intentional walk the first time up.
If you weren't with us at the top of the show, I don't remember the exact number, but Victor hitting about 540 against Chris Sale in his career.
536, as we documented earlier. 3 bombs. And just eats up Chicago White Sox pitching in general. 328 for his career against the White Sox. He has at least 1 hit in 24 of his last 28 games against Chicago. And that includes going 0 for 2 last night. He's ahead in the count, 2-0.
Well, it looks like he's going to use that open base for Victor again. Even though first base is occupied, third base is not occupied.
That's what happened back in the first, only after getting behind Victor Martinez 2-0, they decided to put him on intentionally. They'll throw a 3rd pitch here now. Swung on it and missed.
95-mile-per-hour fastball that was close enough for Victor to expand the strike zone and swing at, but it probably was not a strike. And Victor just trying to drive the run in.
He's driven in 100 this year, Rod. It's the 5th time he's done it in his career.
35 years old. Career season for Victor.
And another conversation. As good as Sale is, he knows the numbers as well as anybody else.
Oh, there's no question about that.
This will be the 60th pitch of the game for Chris Sale already. It's a 2-1 offering. Expanded the zone, and it's 2-2.
This is going to be interesting because it appears that Sale's on top of his game today. He's already racked up quite a few strikeouts, 5 to be exact. And Victor's a guy that doesn't strike out very often, and he loves to hit with 2 strikes. Not often you say a guy loves to hit with 2 strikes, Shep.
But his numbers will tell you exactly that. To your point, and those numbers, I mean, look at Tony Gwynn. I mean, Tony Gwynn's a Hall of Fame player. Victor Martinez, among the best ever. Former Tiger, Placido Polanco, in that conversation.
That's since 1988.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. Slices this one foul.
Victor just kind of grinds out at bats, especially after 2 strikes. Just kind of locks in, and usually does not leave the strike zone.
All these guys are competitors, Rod. Talking to Victor Martinez, and I asked him earlier, are you competitive in everything you do? He says, absolutely. I don't care if we're playing cards. I don't care. He says, I can't tell you how many remote controls I've broken playing video games. That's how competitive I am. Waiting on the 2-2 pitch again. Got him swinging. Oh, you are right. You strike out Cabrera and Martinez with runners at first and second, and you have brought your A game. That is the case for Chris Sale. We're scoreless at Comerica Park. Time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Matt Shepard filling in for Mario Impemba. He'll be back tomorrow as Minnesota comes calling the final 4 games of the regular season. Joined by Rod Allen. Scoreless as we make our way to the top of the 4th. Jose Abreu leading off for Chicago. Punches one to left, and it's drifting toward JD Martinez, who holds it in because he was drifting as well toward the baseball, and there's one up and one down. 2 quick outs for Jose Abreu.
That is another fly ball out for Abreu on the first pitch. He did that 2 times last night. 4 combined in the 3-game series.
Odd considering the way he's approached Tigers pitching earlier this year. Brings up Connor Gillespie. And you don't even get a chance to tell people how good Jose Abreu has been against the Tigers this season.
Or the rest of the league.
Or the rest of the league, because Verlander has made such quick work of him.
You can still talk about him, Shep.
Just 34 pitches so far for Justin Verlander. 11 first pitch strikes. Gillespie singled his first time up. There's another first pitch strike, Rob.
Well, it's imperative for Justin to do that, and by doing so, it allows him to get to his other 3 pitches, whether it be the curve, the slider, or the changeup, and then he can expand the strike zone and get this aggressive White Sox team to swing at something that's a ball, something out of the strike zone.
This one is punched right back up the middle.
He can hit.
Yeah, he really lets the ball travel deep in the zone, hits it right back up the box.
He's an old school dude. He doesn't use any batting gloves. And he just rakes.
It's George Brett-esque, isn't it?
Hit, man. You know, he has to get better at third base if he's going to man that position next year. But Gillespie just puts that ball in play.
So on for the second time today, 3rd hit of the day for Chicago. And Avisail Garcia stands in with a runner at first and 1 down. Rounder to short his first time up, the fielder's choice to end the inning. Back in the first. Takes it in tight.
I continue to like the way that Verlander is using that fastball inside, because by doing so it really opens up the outside part of the plate for the other pitches. David Price did a marvelous job of that last night during the course of the game.
Just the 42nd game played by the former Tiger. He pops it up. Romine 2 steps to his left, and there's 2 down. Brings up Diane Visaedo. He's the designated hitter tonight for Chicago. Flew out to center his first time up. 1 for 4 in the game with a double last night. Good pitch.
It's a good slider there to Visaedo. That's exactly what you want to do to him. He's got a lot of power in his bat. Good fastball hitter.
21 homers on the year. 5 in the last 19 games he's played. Gillespie, not much of a threat to run. He's got to keep them honest, whether they're a base stealing threat or not, though.
A real nice Wednesday afternoon crowd here today.
Great crowd, as usual, and tight. May not be able to get to 3 million this year, but Tigers will get close to it. 5 teams in baseball with 3 million or more this season.
Only 4 games remain during the regular season.
The 1-1 pitch. Visaedo grounds one foul. One game difference between Detroit and Kansas City in the AL Central. And I know it's not exactly how you want to be in the division. You'd love to have the double-digit lead that Baltimore has or that the Angels have, but it's kept our interest. Last year beating Cleveland by just a game because the Indians, well, they win 10 straight at the end of last season. They beat Chicago 2 years ago by 3 games. So it's not like we're used to having these double-digit leads in the division. Still have a shot at 90 wins. It's not a bad campaign, Ron.
They just want to get in. It's the first year for the rookie manager, Brad Ausmus. Everyone at the beginning of the season, all the experts, they felt like the Tigers, they should go on to win the World Series. But it's not that easy. I mean, the ebbs and the flows of a major league season. You go through injuries, you go through down years, and then you have a team like the Kansas City Royals that have, picked it up.
They played well. Played really well last night. A 7-1 blowout. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Broken bat, fly ball to Ian Kinsler, and Verlander. Another solid inning on the mound. Detroit and Chicago are scoreless on Fox Sports Network. Chris Sale, it is. Let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast, Lindsay Hayes. Lindsay?
Hi, Shep. Well, often for athletes, their best friends end up being their teammates. And there is a dynamic duo for the Tigers that are as close-knit as practically brothers, that being JD Martinez and Nick Castellanos. Now, JD said that the first day he came into the clubhouse, the guys paired him up with Nick, and he was like, who is this guy? Are we paired together because we're both Florida boys and maybe also similar in many ways? And yes, it turned out to be a match made in heaven. These two over this season have grown to be best friends. They fight like brothers, are as close as siblings. They have a love-hate relationship. And also, JD says he takes pride in being Nick's babysitter. That's right. If Nick makes an error, the guys in the clubhouse say, JD, get over there. Talk to him about that. And they, of course, pick each other up. But so many firsts going on for them in this pennant race together, guys.
And they bat 5 and 6 in this Tigers order. Thanks, Lindsay. JD Martinez struck out swinging back in the first with a pair of runners on. And he's been so good. He's been. The story continues about how surprising he is. And now, Rod, this is how good he's been. It's surprising when he doesn't perform. Well, so now you know you've turned it around.
In my opinion, he's earned the job next year in left field. And I'm not talking about a platoon situation. If you look at his numbers this year are better against righties than left-handers. And JD Martinez next year with 23 homers and 76 RBIs will probably bat right in the middle of the Tigers order.
He's also making his 39th consecutive starts. So to what you were talking about, that job is his, and rightfully so. He's behind in the count 1-2, though. Held up there, it's 2-2. Here's the other thing. Brad Ausmus is, if you've noticed, earlier in the season, he was replacing him for a defensive, probably a better defensive player. Now, that's not the case. Brad Ausmus told us before the game, I feel a lot more comfortable with JD Martinez in the later innings in left field.
Well, not only left field with that bat in his hand. We've given you some of those numbers JD's posted 7th inning or later.
Laced to short, and Ramirez. This is one of those things. This guy has got unbelievable range, but he lacks some concentration once in a while. And maybe JD Martinez is fast enough, but this is a play that needs to be made by Alexei Ramirez.
He takes a couple of steps to his right. He gets the ball in the glove, but he fails to exchange it cleanly to the throwing hand. And with his strong arm, there's no doubt it would have been a very close play at first base.
So a runner at first to lead off the fourth here. Third time already today, Detroit's had the leadoff man off, or on, I should say. Kinsler led off with a walk in the first. Here's Castellanos swinging and fouling it back, and then an infield single by Rajai Davis to lead off the third.
And Chris Sale, just like Justin Verlander here today, very efficient with his first pitch strikes. Chris Sale has gone 10 of 15 in that department.
People forget Chris Sale was out of the bullpen when he first started with Chicago. His third year as a starter.
He's filthy today.
Yeah, he is.
No, just filthy.
So what do you do? I mean, are you trying to manufacture this? Take us through the mindset of a manager as a player. Are you going into the batter's box with a different approach as a manager? Are you thinking, let's play for one run here?
No, you got to have this approach that Castellanos has right now. You have to have a two-strike approach, even though you don't have any strikes on you, where you spread out and you simply try to put the ball in play.
Oh, got him with
boy.
7 punch-outs for Chris Sale today. 205 on the year. Brings up Brian Holiday.
It's a fastball inside, up and in. Castellanos couldn't pull the trigger on it.
It just jumps at you, doesn't it? JD Martinez at first on an infield single, it was ruled. There's one down. Ryan Holiday stands in. He was a strikeout victim, swinging back in the second.
Not very often you'll see the third baseman playing even with the bag with the catcher in the batter's box, but Brian Holiday will bunt down toward third on occasion. He's done many a times this season.
A lot of swings and misses.
That's
by Detroit
right.
Today.
That's right.
Holiday had a career-high 3 hits against Chicago back on June 12th in a game against the White Sox. Chris Sale was not on the bump that day.
I guess the one thing that's good about this game so far for the Tigers.
There's your bunt you were talking about.
Yeah, but he looked like he was going to bunt that one the other way. Usually he goes down toward third base. It's the first time that I can remember Brian Holiday attempting to bunt towards second base. Just to finish that thought on what may be the best chance of the Tigers winning this game today is when Sale leaves. He already has 72 pitches. We're in the 4th, so he's not going to be around all day.
Detroit 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They'd like to get J.D. Martinez there. Led off the inning with an infield single. And then a backwards K against Nick Castellanos. Brian Holiday's in an 0-2 hole. Broken back could be a double play. And it is. Sit back. This one could be a lengthy one because of these two aces on the mound today. Law firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by Chevy Truck Month, where great deals and great trucks come together at your Chevy dealer. There's been some threats, but neither team able to scratch anything across. 3 hits aside, scoreless right now here at Comerica Park. Justin Verlander and Chris Sale. Second meeting ever between these two. The first was September 2nd of 2012.
And both guys were on top of their game that day. And Verlander with the fastball that got up to 100 miles an hour back then. And Chris Sale was relatively new to the starting rotation and in the American League Central. But both guys went out there, and for the most part, they matched each other pitch for pitch.
Tigers won at 4-2. Verlander had double-digit strikeouts. Sale had 7. He's already got 7 in this one this afternoon. Today, through 4, here's what it looks like.
Yeah, really the only blemish is a couple of base on balls by Chris Sale.
One was intentional.
And Verlander for the second consecutive start pitching to a lot of contact there for his pitch count. It's in outstanding shape. Justin's only thrown 43 pitches through 4.
Sale in the meantime has thrown 73 through 4.
Yeah, he's got a lot more strikeouts.
Yeah. Jordan Danks, first pitch swinging, shallow center, and it's going to drop in front of Rajay Davis.
Rajay Davis got a really, and I mean really late break on that fly ball off the bat of Danks. He took a couple of steps back, and then by the time he was able to locate it, even Rajay with his speed wasn't able to get there.
Well, this will be interesting to see what Robin Ventura does. How many runs do you need for Chris Sale? Tyler Flowers stands in. with a runner at first.
What you thinking? Maybe Flowers might be up there bunting or something like that?
Thinking about it? Yeah. It's a possibility, I suppose. It's not common. He's only done it once this year.
Tigers on the infield, not anticipating that Robin Ventura would give Flowers the bunt. Castellanos very deep.
Maybe the 5th inning's too early for that. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm not a big sacrifice guy. I don't like giving outs away. When you see how 2 pitchers are going, you see how this game is going.
Well, if this was somebody other than Flowers, I'd be totally on board with a base hit sacrifice bunt right here. Totally on board if they had one of their table setters up.
Sure didn't budge there. It's 0-1. 15 homers for Tyler Flowers, 10 since the All-Star break.
He's going to have some competition going into spring training next year with Josh Phegley.
Yeah, I heard you and Mario talking about that in the first game of the series. You're going to have a decision to make, but it's not a bad problem to have 2 decent catchers like they have. 0-1 pitch. Swung through it. It's only 2. A lot of folks playing hooky from work and school. I can relate. Verlander raising the eye level a little bit of Flowers. It's kind of a wasted pitch. If you want to swing at it, go right ahead. Not going to do a whole lot of damage. Flowers has 6 homers and 10 RBIs in his last 14 games. Jordan Danks at first base. Has 5 stolen bases on the year. Got him looking.
Best fastball of the afternoon so far by Justin Verlander. 4-seam variety, dotted on the black at 94 miles an hour.
Beautiful pitch. Just as a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Lite later in tonight's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. I guess there's many of folk out here today enjoying a Miller Lite in the warm sun and a little bit of a cool breeze. 73 degrees.
This is a perfect day for something like that. Playoff baseball right around the corner.
And the Tigers are in it again. The White Sox are out of it, but they've been a game opponent so far, not just in this series but all season long.
Yeah, the Tigers have struggled this year against the White Sox and the Minnesota Twins.
Weird that they're 5-1 against Baltimore. You know, Kansas City, their closest competition, they absolutely schooled this year. Marcus Semien is the number 9 hitter in the Chicago order.
Much better with runners on base than hitting while the bases are empty. Sub 200 batting average for Semien with the bases empty.
Recalled from their AAA affiliate in Charlotte, North Carolina on September 2nd. He's hit about 270 since. There goes the runner, and it's a hit and run and executed perfectly. Danks will hustle into third, and Chicago has runners at the corners with 1 down.
This is a beautiful job by Semien. And Romine vacates the position because he has to get over to second base to take the throw from Holiday. And Semien, he picked the right spot, hitting it to the vacated position and by Romine, and Danks able to get over to third.
Brings up Adam Eaton, the leadoff man, tough guy to double up, and a guy who's made Justin Verlander work more than anybody else in today's ballgame. Verlander's most pitches thrown to one batter was 8 to lead the game off against Eaton. Since then, only 2 batters have seen 5 pitches from Verlander. Curveball strike, and one of them was Adam Eaton. Really good numbers with runners in scoring position since the All-Star break. His batting average is 3rd in the American League. His on-base percentage is 5th in the league. Castellanos in close at 3rd. Good stop by Holiday. Simeon, by the way, has 3 stolen bases on the year in as many attempts. He's anchored at 1st. Jordan Danks is at 3rd. 1 down and a 1-1 pitch to Adam Eaton. Grounded to 1st. Cabrera turns, fires to Holiday. They've got Danks in a rundown. They'll tag him immediately. Well played by Cabrera. Knew exactly what he was going to do as soon as the ball was hit to him.
Really nice pitch by Justin Verlander, getting Eaton out in front. Eaton hit the ball off the end of the bat. He rolled over to Miggy. Miggy saw that Danks took off for home, so he immediately gets the ball to Brian Holiday, and Brian Holiday able to finish the play off himself. Very nicely executed pitch by Justin Verlander. Nice job by Miggy getting the ball to Brian Holiday.
In a perfect world, if you're Danks, you want to get caught in that rundown to allow possibly Simeon to get over to 3rd.
In the perfect world.
We all know it's not perfect. Runners at 1st and 2nd with 2
You already
down.
know.
Ramirez singled his first time up and was left stranded, and he shoots one foul. He was left stranded at 3rd, and then he grounded to short in the 3rd. This guy's a really good hitter. 2 for 4 last night. Couple of doubles and a run scored.
He's going to be hard to replace. He hits the free agent market next year. I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not, but he's a total package.
The 0-1 pitch. Bending the knees a little bit. You talked about the possibility of a silver slugger, and for good reason. He is the standard offensively among American League shortstops.
Pretty much a lock that he's going to win that award.
Yeah. J.J. Hardy, pretty good hitting shortstop in Baltimore as well. Troy Tulowitzki is the best hitting shortstop.
Can't stay healthy, though.
You're right. 1-1 offering. A bullet to left. Martinez got a beat on it, and he reels it in. So some pressure on Justin Verlander here in the 5th, but he eludes it. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. For your chance to win a Red Wings 10-game plan this season, make sure to enter at foxsportsdetroit.com. Detroit, a 2-1 overtime loser to Chicago. Hated Blackhawks last night. They beat Pittsburgh the other night. Pavel Datsyuk had a goal and an assist. Didn't finish because of a shoulder issue. He's out 4 to 5 weeks with a second-degree shoulder problem. Well, you don't want that creeping up on this club. 421 man games lost to injury last year, second most in the NHL. Andrew Romine swings at the first pitch on a little pop-up to second. No problem for Simeon. By the way, our first game here on Fox Sports Detroit, your home for Red Wings hockey, is the preseason game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that will be Monday night. Ken Daniels, Mickey Redmond, glad they're back. Can't wait for it. Cannot wait. Rajai Davis stands in. Infield single back in the third, left stranded at second. So you wonder how long Chris Sale could go. Is there a pitch count that Robin Ventura will keep on him? Or do you just let him go as long as he wants to go?
He'll watch him the same way that he's watched him all year. Okay. There's Don Cooper, outstanding pitching coach, standing next to the manager, Robin Ventura. This is his last start of the year.
Looking for his 13th win of the season. 0-2 delivery. Ball foul. Detroit 42-34 tonight.
Chris Sale right now only has 12 wins. He's lost 4, and that's a low number for a guy to win a Cy Young.
Simeon with an assist there.
But didn't Felix Hernandez win a Cy Young a few years ago with only 13 wins?
Well, same with Zach Greinke. When he was in Kansas City, he won his Cy Young in a very low number of victories.
Let's get Kluber and Lester off the list first of all, but they've been great this year. Yeah. Corey Kluber has been tremendous in Cleveland. I mean, tremendous.
And Lester's kept Oakland in it.
But when you start talking about the other three, you got Felix, you got Max, and you got Chris Sale. I'm going to do this too. I hate to do it, Max. But really, you got a 2-horse race right there, and it's Sale and it's Felix Hernandez. I love Max.
I hope he's not.
But he's not going to win. He's not going to win. He's not going to win.
No, he won it last year. He's not going to win it.
He's not going to win it this year. It's going to be between Sale and Hernandez.
How much did Hernandez's effort last night? This one has a bullet in the left corner. Get down, and it's foul.
It really helped out.
I mean, last night he was bad against Toronto.
8 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings.
That ties a career high for number of runs allowed by Felix Hernandez in the start.
And then you have Sale out there today doing what he's done. He's going to win the ERA title this year, Chris Sale.
No doubt.
It's going to be close voting. I mean, I haven't really been able to dive into all the numbers, but you would think that a really strong outing here today by Chris Sale would put him right there with Felix.
How about this? This is his 26th start. My guess is that it'll be his 21st quality start, too.
He spent some time on the disabled list here back in the game in April. They stretched him to a career high 127 pitches. And he spent the next 5 weeks on the DL. So maybe that answers that question that you asked me earlier. How many pitches will he throw today? Shep, it won't be 127.
3-ball count on Ian Kinsler. Hasn't happened very often against Chris Sale today, and he walked Kinsler. That's just the 3rd time he's gone 3 balls or more on a batter today, and each one of those batters has walked. Victor Martinez was an intentional pass in the first. And another opportunity for Detroit. After 2 quick outs, a guy with some speed at first base. Torrey Hunter stands in. Singled to left his last time up. 1 for 2 on the day.
Popping the glove, and that fastball, man, from that arm slot. I mean, he's throwing it on both sides of the plate, and the velocity's been firm, 94 to 96.
It really is almost one of those situations like Castellanos told us before the game. Let's just sit dead red. When we get the fastball, that's what we're swinging at.
You got to fight as a hitter today. I mean, literally, you have to fight up there.
Both dugouts.
I mean, Sale's on top of his game. Verlander's on top of his game. I mean, you got to scratch and claw for everything you're going to get today.
Both these guys like to work very quickly. Brad Osman says that's great for a defense, but as a hitter, you've got to find a way to get that pitcher off his rhythm. Make him take some time. 0-2 now to Hunter.
And the thing that he's doing with that slider today, he slowed down the velocity on it. I mean, he's throwing the slider today at 80 miles an hour. This guy's going from 96 one pitch to 80 miles an hour the next pitch from the same arm slot.
Not fair. 0-2 pitch. Got him.
Oh, Sale.
8 strikeouts. I know Tiger fans hate this phrase, tip your cap. That's what you got to do for Sale so far, don't you? In this one today, Sale has allowed 2 fewer hits, 5 more strikeouts, but 3 more walks, and he's also thrown 30 more pitches than Justin Verlander, who, as Rod has pointed out, been very efficient today. It's a good way to describe him. It'll be Abreu, the number 3 hitter, Connor Gillespie, who has 2 hits, the number 4 hitter, and Avisail Garcia, the number 5 hitter, to face Justin Verlander. Abreu to begin the 6th.
Abreu's had 2 at-bats, and he's seen a grand total of 2 pitches so far here this afternoon.
35 homers on the year for the rookie Jose Abreu. Swings and misses. The 35 homers, by the way, tied with Ron Kittle for the rookie record in Chicago history. The same Ron Kittle who struck out against Jack Morris to end his no-hitter in 1984. You remember that well. 105 RBIs, 3rd best by a White Sox rookie. Laid off that one, and it's 1-1.
And White Sox have not had a good year, but they're going to have a couple of players. We talked about Sale and the Cy Young conversation.
Yeah.
Well, Abreu, he's in that MVP conversation with the year he's had.
The 1-1 pitch. Base hit to right.
Really good hitter, man. That's what he'll do. He'll take that ball the opposite way. He's a lot like Miguel Cabrera. Strong lower half. Not afraid to fight one off or take the base hit the other way is Abreu.
So a leadoff single for Chicago here in the 6th. Connor Gillespie, who singled in the 1st and 4th, now stands in.
Just to finish off Abreu there and the fact that he will use right field. Here's proof of that. 44 hits the other way for the big body guy. I mean, that's how you hit close to 320.
Well, remember, when you're mentioned with guys like Albert Pujols, Ted Williams, and Hal Trotsky, you're in really good company. And those are the only 4 rookies in the history of baseball to record 30 doubles, 30 bombs, and 100 runs driven in.
I know that he came over to the United States after playing several years in Cuba, but I'm not going to hate on him. I mean, to do what he's done in his first year stateside, I don't care how old you are.
I agree. He's 27. Williams, by the way, when he did it was 20. Pujols and Trotsky were each 21. There goes Abreu, and it's popped up. Rod Allen would catch it if he brought his glove. Well, it's just a little out of your reach.
Robin Ventura managing very aggressively here today. That was a hit and run because Abreu doesn't steal bases. But Gillespie just did not get the ball on the ground. They were successful with the hit and run last half inning. But this is what you have to do as a manager when you have a couple of guys on the mound that are on top of their games, that are not giving up any runs. If you get yourself in a count to where you could do so, you could put a runner in motion.
The 2-1 pitch to Gillespie. Popped up foul. It's 2-2. Abreu, as you mentioned, not a base stealing threat, but he does have a couple of swipes already this year. Garcia awaits his turn. He's on deck. Nobody down. Here in the 6th. Abreu goes. The throw from Holiday is wide and into center field, and Abreu will coast into third.
It was almost like Brian Holiday was caught off guard. Miguel is not holding Abreu on. He was behind him about 3 steps. And that ball sailed on Andrew Romine, the shortstop, into center field. And Abreu gets himself over to third base with nobody out.
And the count is full to Connor Gillespie. Verlander's first 3-ball count since Adam Eaton led off the game. Popped up. This is just what the doctor ordered. Romine, no problem in this one down. Back to the Call Sam Studios, Justin White. I like Nick Markakis. I've always liked Nick Markakis.
He really hadn't gotten the duties he's deserved since he's been in the big leagues, because Baltimore really hadn't played a whole lot on national television. But the last couple of years, the world has gotten to know Nick Markakis.
Steady, batting .271 for Baltimore right now. They're looking for their 95th win of the year. There's a tapper to third. No problem for Castellanos.
Tigers had the infield in, and not a good at-bat by Garcia.
No, it wasn't. You're right.
A breaking ball that was out of the strike zone that he hit right into the teeth of the Tigers' defense.
Kind of an excuse-me swing, too. Now the infield backs up, and Diane Vicieto stands in. Fly out to center in second, and a pop-up to Ian Kinsler in fourth. Verlander trying to get out of the jam. A leadoff single by Jose Abreu. Stole second, moved to third on the throwing error from Brian Holiday. But then Verlander got Gillespie and Garcia on weak outs. Holiday wants to talk it over. This is just making sure you're on the same page, right?
Here's a high-speed pitch on Justin Verlander, and it's presented to you by Xfinity. The 96 has been the top fastball so far this afternoon, thrown by Justin. And be careful here if you decide to throw Viciedo a breaking ball. If you do throw the breaking ball, if you bounce it or if you get it away from him, he'll swing at it. But you don't want to get it up in the strike zone if that's the pitch you choose to go with.
20-plus homers for the second time in his career, and he finds the left center field gap. You called it, Rod. Extra bases for Viciedo. Chicago draws first blood, and he's going for 3, and he will make it sliding in.
Viciedo is a dead fastball hitter, and in that particular count, he knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Justin was not going to throw him a fastball. So he sat on something soft. Justin threw the changeup that stayed up in the strike zone. You can see the grip. It's a circle change, and Viciedo rifled it into the left center field gap for the first run of the game.
Third triple of the year for Diane Viciedo, and Chicago is up 1-0.
Big 2-out RBI here for Diane.
Jordan Danks takes a first pitch strike. Singled back in the 5th. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. One of 3 strikeout victims by Verlander today. Good stop by Holiday to swallow it up. Seven hits for the White Sox, just 3 for Detroit. The 1-1 pitch to Danks just outside. One pitch, swung through it, and it's even.
Verlander's had a good fastball today. I mean, he's thrown several at 94, and we just showed you that his best fastball today was 96.
It's a big batter here too, Rod. You want to keep it 1-0, limit the damage. Viciedo edges off. This one's fouled back.
Well, you must do that. No disrespect to Danks, but he comes in at 221 batting average with just 9 RBIs. You have to make sure you make a quality pitch here.
The 75th pitch of the game for Justin Verlander coming here. Got him looking. But Chicago is on the board. Detroit's meat of the order comes up next. Miguel Cabrera has struck out twice. Victor Martinez has owned Chris Sale in his career, and JD Martinez singled last time up. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Detroit are asked to tie it when we come back. Lead at 1-0. Enjoy Fan Appreciation Weekend this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the Tigers take on the Twins. Random prizes given to fans all weekend long. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Sitting in for Mario and Pemba, I'm Matt Shepard alongside Rod Allen. These are the guys you want in this type of situation. You're down 1-0. Sixth inning. Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, and J.D. Martinez. They've delivered all season long. They're the reason, primary reason, that you're in this situation right now. 87 up, 70 down. 9 games clear of 500 in the Central Division. And a 1-game lead on Kansas City. Magic number for the playoffs is 2. Cabrera behind immediately. And the magic number to win the division is 5. Cabrera, strikeout victim in the first looking, strikeout swinging in the third. This will be the 90th pitch from Chris Sale coming up. Lace to right. A foul. Cabrera with his 11th career walk-off winner yesterday. 8th in his Tigers career. Got a foul tip into the middle. Flowers. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon for Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, Mickey's left the strike zone quite often today against Chris Sale.
It's 9 strikeouts by the Chicago ace. Victor Martinez struck out last time. Martinez intentionally walked back in the first. Swung at the last pitch in the third, and it's hit there.
Victor doesn't appreciate that very much, and not with all the success that he has had against Chris Sale. Whether there was intent or not, Victor does not appreciate it. And he is giving Chris Sale a long look. Chris Sale is pointing out towards center field.
And both benches empty, too. And both bullpens empty. Coaching staff trying to cool Chris Sale down a little bit. Now they file off. Max Scherzer trying to play peacemaker, I think. Although a point of the finger at Ron Cooper wouldn't indicate as such.
Earlier this game, Chris Sale struck out Victor Martinez, and then he took a look out to center field with his hat, and he pointed towards center field. I don't know exactly what was going on at that particular time, but obviously he thinks that somehow, some way, there's signs being given to the Tigers from center field. Now he hits Victor the next time up, and then once Victor gets toward home plate, Chris Sale doesn't say much to Victor, but he points out to center field again.
You can read lips. It looked like he said, "That's your boy out there."
So apparently there was a little bit more than intent to that hit by pitch there by Chris Sale.
Well, and considering how
or maybe trying to move him off the plate.
Yeah, but look at how well he's pitched today. Look at how much control he's had today. If I'm Victor Martinez, not saying that it's worth charging or drawing, it's just saying I doubt that that was unintentional considering the control he's had.
Chris Sale basically told us that he feels like somebody out there in center field is giving Victor Martinez signs. He said as much.
See if Detroit can make him pay. JD Martinez stands in with one down. You wonder sometimes how it might affect the pitcher without reading too much into it. A scrap like that takes him off the mound for a little bit, takes him out of a rhythm if he had one. Adrenaline pumping a little bit. Martinez with a blast to left. And it is down into the corner. Victor Martinez hustles to third. JD Martinez with a stand-up double. And the Tigers with runners at second and third and only one down.
It's a changeup that is down that JD Martinez goes down to get. He hits it off the end of the bat and he hooks it down into the left field corner. And by the time it's picked up by Jordan Danks, Victor Martinez already standing on third base.
'30th double of the year for JD Martinez. And the Tigers are trying to answer right back. Nick Castellanos stands in. A pair of strikeouts on the day. The last time looking, it's 1-0.
You have to be very careful here if you're Dave Clark or Brad Ausmus if you're sending Victor Martinez on contact. Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop, if something hit hard to him, he'll come home with it.
Sure. Pounded to right center. Eaton's got it. But it's good enough to move Martinez home and JD Martinez to third. And we are tied at 1. The 63rd RBI of the year for Nick Castellanos ties it up against Chris Sale. Brian Holiday stands in. Remember, Sale has already uncorked. Well, it was a pass ball credited to Tyler Flowers, but you and I thought it was a wild pitch. But either the case, one has gotten by the Chicago catcher. 2-0.
It appears that Chris Sale a little rattled out there in the 6th inning after hitting Victor Martinez.
sometimes you just got to let it go. I mean, if it's an individual vendetta, it doesn't benefit you in this game here. It hurt Chris Sale in this inning, if indeed that was the case. There's the 2-1 pitch to Holiday. Foul tipped it, and it's 2-2. .100 pitches now for Chris Sale. And outside that first, you want your pitches about 14 pitches per inning, right, Rod?
Right around there, 14 to 16.
You got a strikeout on Holiday, the 10th of the game. They'll force him out at first. But the Tigers respond. Victor Martinez was hit by a pitch. J.D. Martinez with a double and a sac fly to knot it up at 1 apiece. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by our friends at AT&T. American League Central Division race has been tight the entire time in the second half of the season. This game has been tight throughout. Chris Sale, Rod, I don't know if it was intentional, but if it was kind of a selfish move on the part of Sale. If it was.
Well,
he's been great today, though.
Well, his thinking is he can't get Victor Martinez out anyway. So there's a good chance if he tries to pitch to Victor, Victor might have hit a double. He might have hit a homer. He's already done that several times in his career against Sale. Chris Sale clearly upset. He thought that somebody from center field had been helping Victor.
Yeah. Tyler Flowers, Marcus Simeon, and Adam Eaton, the scheduled hitters against Justin Verlander here in the 7th. Flowers with a backwards K in the scorebook last time, up in a grounder to short back in the 2nd. Off speed. He's buckled a little bit, missed the zone. It's 1-1.
It's a dangerous pitch right there to Flowers. He's got a lot of power. And Verlander has better pitches that he could throw in command better than that hanging breaking ball.
1-1 pitch. Flowers with 15 homers, 50 RBIs on the year. Scherzer against Trevor May tomorrow night, the opener of a 4-game series against Minnesota. Scherzer, Porcello, Blodstein, and Price. It's not bad going down the stretch, is it?
No. They're still pointing out towards center field. And now he's somebody got some binoculars out there. He's giving us the whole story.
Verlander with his 5th strikeout of the afternoon. 2nd time he's punched out Tyler Flowers.
It's a fastball that's right around the belt buckle, maybe a tick higher, to get the swing and miss from Flowers.
Marcus Semien, the number 9 hitter, the second baseman who singled back in the 5th.
Shep, you got a buddy out in center field tipping pitches to Victor?
I don't. He might be looking for an autograph, but I don't think you could tell what pitch is about to be thrown. I wonder why a pitcher gets caught up in that, at least during the game. 1-1. I mean, you have enough to concentrate on. You have enough things to worry you. Victor Martinez, JD Martinez, the way he's been hitting the baseball in the second half of the season, all season long.
Well, quite frankly, I think it was brought to his attention by his catcher, Tyler Flowers, earlier in the game. Victor's second at bat. Okay. And when Flowers went out to talk to Chris Sale, I think he brought it to his attention at that particular time. So it's not Sale that can see it. Somebody has to tell Chris Sale that.
2-2. Is that a wise
Chris Sale's
move?
he's pretty good, but he don't have the eyes in the back of his head.
No, I hear that, but is that a wise move on the catcher? Do you want him having his mind wander like that a little bit?
Well,
it's kind of odd to me. Tell him in the dugout. Don't tell him in the middle of that bat. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Foul away.
Meanwhile, Justin Verlander, he has not lost his concentration today. Last fastball, 95. This is the best average fastball Justin's had in months. Average fastball.
Well, it's also back-to-back solid outings for him so far. And that's really encouraging. It's full.
And it makes all the difference in the world for Verlander to get that velocity up to 95, because it gives him the 10-mile-per-hour differential in speeds with his changeup and his curveball.
Here's the payoff pitch. Pop-up. Kinsler under it. 2 down. Tickets for potential American League Division Series games are on sale right now. Guaranteed tickets for all potential Tigers postseason games by placing a 2015 season ticket deposit. Visit Tigers.com for details. Two away for Adam Eaton, the leadoff man. Eaton 0 for 3. Strikeout back in the 3rd swinging. It's 1-1. Eaton's 9 triples are the most by a White Sox player since Ray Durham in 2001, as Chicago continues to work the bullpen a little bit here, and that's Javi Guerrero.
And now we have a shot of a Paul Konerko, who's retiring after 18 marvelous years in the big leagues. Calming influence on the bench now for Chris Sale.
Nice sentiment by the Tigers organization last night before the game.
And calm down, young man.
We still need you out there, and you need this too to possibly win a Cy Young Award.
Well, you see, he's not as animated as he was before.
It's a good teaching and learning moment, isn't
yes,
it?
it is.
2-2 pitch to Adam Eaton. Just missed outside, and Verlander wanted it.
Verlander wants contact here. He does not want to walk Eaton. Eaton's got really good speed. That ball was just a shade off the plate.
See if he challenges him here. He does, and he punches it foul. Each team pushing a run across into 6th. Each pitcher's been dynamite today. Sale with 10 strikeouts. 8th time he's done it this year. This one is a flare down the left field line. Romine is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. The Tigers head to the bottom of the 7th in a tie game. Coming up is the Health Plus 7th inning stretch. into the Chicago bullpen, but Chris Sale was dynamite today.
He really was. I mean, he pitched like the all-star that he's been the last 3 seasons. He's in the Cy Young conversation, and we had a chance to see it all today. Chris Sale's just dominant. You see the arm slot that he throws from low 3/4, 96, 97 with his fastball. He's got a really nice breaking ball. And the thing that I like today about Sale and the breaking ball, he was really throwing some slow up to the home plate. He struck out Miggy 3 times in this game. That gives you a really good idea of just how good his stuff was.
Well, the last time Miguel Cabrera struck out 3 times was against Chris Sale back in August. And here's what Chris Sale has done. 8th game this year with 10 strikeouts or more. 18th time he's done it in his Chicago career. That is a new Chicago White Sox franchise record. His ERA, by the way, down to 2.17, Rod. Here's the new pitcher, Javi Guerra.
He's had an outstanding year. 1.42 ERA in the month of September. Overall earned run average 2.64 for Guerra.
Pitching change brought to you by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Andrew Romine, Rajay Davis, and Ian Kinsler. 8, 9, and 1 for Detroit here in the 7th. Romine 0 for 2 against Sale with a couple of pop-ups. One pitch performance by Chris Sale. Tigers hoping to get to their bullpen, and they have. Romine in a 1-2 hole. Romine 0 for 5 in the series. Looks like he's coming around a little bit. He was a little frustrated at the beginning of the season, first half of the season. Really didn't feel like he got the at-bats in spring training. He didn't, because he was in the Angels camp to start, and he knew he wasn't going to start there, so he knew he wasn't going to get a lot of at-bats. Felt like he's been trying to play catch-up all season long with his offense.
Well, a new lease on life for Romine when he was traded from the Angels to the Tigers with Iglesias and being lost for the season. And he was going to get more playing time this year than he had gotten in the big leagues.
Payoff pitch. Broken bat, grounder to first. Abreu has to hustle to Guerra, and he barely got it.
And Abreu probably ranges a little bit too far to his right to make this play. And that ball was spinning on him because it was hit off the end of the bat and by Romine. And Guerra gets to the bag before Romine trips over to first base, lunging for it.
Rajay Davis now stands in, seeking his 2nd hit of the day. An infield single back in the 3rd. And a grounder to 2nd in the 5th.
And we talked about this a little bit last night. And the bullpen for the White Sox this year has not been a good bullpen. And 14th in ERA, last in WHIP.
To Davis now. Put a lot of runners on, as indicated by that graphic. Tigers hoping to stir something up here. And that's what you're hoping to do, especially against a guy like Chris Sale. Hang in there, and that's what Justin Verlander has done for this club. Toe-to-toe with Chris Sale. Tied at 1. Davis golfs one to left, his 2nd hit of the day. And there's the threat you were hoping for.
This is where it gets interesting. Rajay Davis with all his stolen bases. There's no doubt he'll be on the move.
Kinsler's been on base a couple of times. Guerra in relief of Sale. Davis 34 for 44 in stolen base attempts.
Everybody in the ballpark knows that Rajai Davis is going to attempt to steal here at some point in time. And your true base stealers, they don't care. They are still fearless. You can see Tyler Flowers has done a pretty nice job this year at throwing out base runners, attempting to steal 27%. Not too shabby.
Hitter has to protect his runner here.
Rajai does not have much of a lead over at first.
Some of this timing early on, too. The cat and mouse game. He's trying to time Guerra. Omar Vizquel with a stopwatch in his hand down the first base line. Kinsler 2 for 10 in the series. There goes Davis. Nope, he goes back to first.
And Rajai took about 3-4 hard steps towards second. Then he broke it down and he got back to first base. But it looked like he had a good enough jump to keep going.
This will be a 2-0 offering. Should be a good pitch for Kinsler.
Yeah, and not such a good pitch for Rajai to run on.
It's probably a fastball, right?
Correct.
We were talking about this before the game today. Alex Sanchez, I did not guess that correctly. Three-0 to Kinsler.
All of a sudden, just by Rajai being on first base, Matt, just by him being over there, has disrupted the attention of Guerra on the mound. He's fallen behind Ian. 3 balls, no strikes.
That's what you guys talk about in broadcasts all the time. Putting pressure on the defense. In this case, the defense and the pitcher. We haven't seen it a whole lot recently. Davis brings that element to this club.
And this next pitch will be a good pitch for Rajai to run on. If it's over the heart of the plate, Kinsler will swing at it. Obviously, if it's off the plate, it's ball 4. But if you're Rajai and you're running, you still have to get a really good jump.
Kinsler with a career high 182 hits on the year, 6th most in the American League. Waits on the 3-1 pitch. There goes Davis. Ripped left, but foul. He is a dead pull hitter, is he not?
Oh, yes, he is. And it's funny how Ian talked about the fact that with Dave Magadan, the hitting coach in Texas last year, he really started trying to hit the ball the other way, trying to hit more line drive and not be so pull happy, but it really hasn't translated into the numbers.
It's a big pitch of the afternoon here, folks, with Davis at first and 1 down. He goes again. This one is pulled into the corner and left. Davis on the move, heading to third. They're going to wave him home. He's going to score without a throw, and Detroit's in front 2-1.
It's a fastball and a 3-2 count turned on by Ian Kinsler. And with all the speed of Rajai Davis, once he hit second and he saw that ball getting into the left field corner, he turned on the jet and he was able to score easily, being waved home by Dave Clark. And I guess Ian Kinsler's got a pair of binoculars.
Oh, that's funny.
I love it.
That's exactly what you were talking about.
It's big boy baseball here, Matt.
His 40th double of the year and career best 88th RBI. He had 87 last night. Hunter goes the opposite way. It'll fall in front. Kinsler will be held at third. And the Tigers aren't done yet.
Does Torrey have a pair of binoculars on too?
I don't see him doing that, but he's got a grin on his face as usual.
I love that reaction by Ian Kinsler. Priceless.
He's got a little chip, doesn't he?
Oh, he plays the game with an edge.
Yeah, he does. I'm with you. His 40 doubles, by the way, 5th in the American League, and now Miguel Cabrera stands in.
This was Sale earlier talking about somebody was cheating in center field with binoculars when Victor was up at the plate. Oh, you can't make this stuff up.
That's Kinsler telling Sale, we don't need to do that stuff. Go ahead and think about it all you want, but that's not happening here.
And Miggy struck out 3 times today against Chris Sale, but really none of that matters in this at-bat. Runner on third, less than 2 outs.
Tight. One of Miguel Cabrera's strengths that oftentimes we don't necessarily bring up is the fact that he can forget at-bats very well. He doesn't let one at-bat get you down. It's kind of like a cornerback in football. Forget the last play, move on to the next. Bullpen for Chicago has been pretty busy. Matt Lindstrom now warming up, the right-hander. Surkamp was warming up earlier. A 1-0 pitch, and it's 2-0. Tigers, 2-0 count to the best hitter on the planet.
Miggy has
Victor Martinez might have an argument there for me, and that's okay. It'll be a good debate because he's been so good. 3-0 Miguel Cabrera.
Just getting ready to say that Miguel Cabrera has 10 sacrifice flies this season. And if Guerra decides to throw Miguel a fastball here in the 3-0 count, you can bet Miggy's going to drive in this run.
You know why, Ron? Because he's a smart hitter, too. He's not selfish. He's not going to swing at something that would be out of the zone on 3-0. At least you wouldn't think. 3-1 now. Right? I mean, that's a manager's trust in a player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Miggy had the green light there. He could have swung at that pitch if he chose to. As a matter of fact, he's had the green light all year in that count.
Hunter at first, Kinsler at third. A run already in. Tigers with their first lead. The 3-1 pitch. Pounded to left. Standing still is Danks. Kinsler tags. The Tigers pad their lead by 2.
Miguel now leads the American League in sacrifice flies with 11. We're going to make it our bell tire pitch by pitch. Garrett with most of the fastballs to Miguel on the first 3 pitches are either up and in or up and out of the strike zone. Miggy finally took one that was down for strike 1 to get the next fastball that he lofted deep enough to left field to plate the 3rd run of the afternoon for the Tigers.
Victor Martinez, who was hit by a pitch back in the 6th, scored on the sacrifice fly from Nick Castellanos. Time was called there. Tyler Flowers is the one who called it. JD Martinez might have the hit of the game, though. He had that double in the left corner.
That was big.
Yeah. It showed Chris Sale's a little human here today.
Rajai Davis has also last couple of days been the ultimate table setter, batting in that number 9 spot in the Tigers offense.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good things with this club recently. Defensively, offensively, on the base paths. And he'll be the first to admit the defense wasn't there not too long ago, but he's really settled in nicely now. Some pretty good jump. Didn't have a very good jump on the one ball earlier today by Gillespie, or Danks rather. Martinez in an 0-2 hole. Guerra rather, in relief of Chris Sale. Surrendered 2 runs here in the frame. Martinez with a fly ball to center. Eaton gobbles it up. Tigers score 2. Eyeball this for me. Ian Kinsler, 3-1 Detroit. One now as we head to the top of the 8th this October. History will be made as baseball's postseason moves to America's new sports network. Fox Sports 1 is your new home for baseball's National League Division and Championship Series, and it all begins in October. You like the National League, Rod? Washington's got 92 wins. They've won 5 straight, 9 of 10.
They might have the best 5-man rotation in the National League. I like the Dodgers. They've got an athletic team from an offensive standpoint. Matt Kemp is playing like an MVP once again. St. Louis and Pittsburgh, both of those teams are in. And you have to love the way that the Pirates have played, and the Cardinals, they've hit their stride at the right time. But I would think the Washington Nationals are the best team in the National League, in my opinion.
St. Louis and Pittsburgh each with 51 home runs leading the National League. Here we go to the top of the 8th. The 2, 3, and 4 hitter, Alexi Ramirez, puts a charge into one to left center, drifting to his left is J.D. Martinez, and there's 1 pitch and 1 away. And Chicago has helped Justin Verlander. Not that he hasn't earned it, because he has, but they have really helped him because of their propensity to swing at first pitches as Java Chamberlain warms up in the Tigers pen.
Well, the reason why they're swinging at so many first pitches is Justin's been around the strike zone all afternoon long.
Here's Jose Abreu, who singled and scored Chicago's lone run of the afternoon. Curveball.
It's the first time he's led Abreu off with a breaking ball. The other 3 plate appearances, he led him off with fastballs.
Off the corner. Abreu trying to become the first rookie in history to be in the top 5 in the Triple Crown categories. That would be something. 27-year-old waits on the 0-2 pitch from Justin Verlander. Golf to left. Charging hard, Martinez, and he's got it. 2 straight outs to J.D. Martinez, and there's 2 quick outs here in the Chicago 8th. Now a guy who's been a tough out for Verlander today. Connor Gillespie 2 for 3. Pair of singles, but never got further than first in either one of those base hits. The 100th pitch of the outing for Justin Verlander upcoming. It's the 70th strike to foul back, and it's 0-2. Talk about Verlander and the efficiency in which he's pitched. A little high in the 6th and 7th. But 11 at-bats of 2 pitches or fewer today. 11 at-bats. This is what he's done since September. You want someone to wear a crown on the mound? He's done it since 2009.
And Justin Verlander trying to pitch at least in 8 innings for the 3rd time this year. You have to go all the way back to a start he made against the Colorado Rockies on August 1st. The last time he pitched 8 innings in a game.
Another 0-2 offering. Just outside.
And Brian Holiday has led Justin Verlander beautifully today. Very few times has Justin Verlander had to shake him off.
Must be hanging tough.
Verlander 103 pitches in with a 95 four-seam fastball in on the hands of Gillespie.
Two strikes in the 103 pitches by Justin Verlander today. It's a nice ratio, isn't it, Ron?
He's been dealing this afternoon.
With 31 outside the zone.
And Gillespie giving Justin Verlander a battle here.
I like those types of players, don't you? Guys who will not give away an at-bat, never give in. Victor Martinez is like that. That's what makes him so tough to get out and so tough to strike out.
Peter Edward Rose is like that too.
Gillespie continues to show us why.
Rose over 4,200 hits in his career. He never gave away an at-bat.
You know who doesn't give away at-bats? Minnesota. 2nd in the American League in pitches seen this year by any team. Boston was #1.
They're coming in here tomorrow too.
Tomorrow, right? 4-game series, already leading the season series.
Tigers will miss Phil Hughes again, though, their best pitcher.
It's a good sign. Here's the 1-2 pitch, high and away. Crowd starting to sense it. Trying to give Verlander that extra adrenaline rush to put Gillespie away. The 2-2 pitch. Six foul balls by Connor Gillespie in this at-bat. This is the 10th pitch of the at-bat. Holiday wanted it. So did Verlander. They didn't get it. I don't know what's closer, the pitch or the swing. Mark Wegner, the third base umpire, said no. The payoff pitch. Swung and missed. Foul tipped it into Holiday's glove. Gillespie loses the battle. And Justin Verlander is fired up, as is this 35,000 plus crowd here at Comerica Park. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Detroit leads at 3-1. Justin Verlander has been stellar today, Rod Allen.
Well, he probably threw his last pitch of the game, and he's fired up after the 10-pitch at-bat to Connor Gillespie. Let's take a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. We're going to give you Justin Verlander's line today. Did not walk one batter here today. Not one batter did he walk, and he threw the majority of his 109 pitches were off-speed pitches. It is the second consecutive start that Verlander did not walk a batter. He did not walk anybody 5 days ago against Kansas City.
Wall side windows pitching change. Matt Lidstrom makes his 34th appearance for Chicago out of the pen. Didn't you pick Justin Verlander as your player of the game?
No, that wasn't me today.
It wasn't?
I don't think so.
Pretty sure it was. Is that 2 in a row for you? See, you're not going to brag about it. That's 2 in a row for you. I know you won last night, too. J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Brian Holiday. You know what's the beauty of a game like this? J.D. Martinez comes up with a big hit early in the game. He had the double back in the 6th that pushed Victor Martinez, who was on base after being hit by a pitch to third, and then Martinez scores on the sac fly by Nick Castellanos. These next 2 young guys for this club getting that feel and contributing in that feel. This one is pounded to left. Martinez with back-to-back solid swings, squaring up the baseball for his 2nd consecutive base knock.
Well, you had a feeling once the Tigers got Chris Sale out of the game. Sale was absolutely dominant once again here today, pitching 6 innings, racking up 10 strikeouts. The Tigers would get better swings against the White Sox bullpen.
Now Nick Castellanos. The sac fly back in the 6th to even it at 1. Sale got through it, and then Detroit tacked on 2 runs against Javi Guerra.
And Lindstrom's got a pretty good arm. His fastball go anywhere from 90 to 96 miles an hour. Slider, curveball, changeup. Not many changeups and not many curveballs for the most part. He is just a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider.
Team's batting .331 against him, though. The 1-0 pitch. Low and away. Castellanos has been overshadowed, and rightfully so, by Jose Abreu in the rookie race, but he is 2nd in doubles, 2nd in RBIs, 2nd in hits among American League rookies. Sits safely in 32 of his last 42. 263 on the year. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Justin Verlander hoping that he's in line for his 15th win, and Detroit, more importantly, is in line for their 88th on the season. Guaranteed to at least hold on to that 1-game lead against Kansas City. They play in Cleveland tonight at 7. Trevor Bauer for the Indians. Jason Vargas for the Royals. It's 3-1 now to Nick Castellanos. I'll be watching that one tonight, I would guess. He jumped all over Cleveland yesterday quickly.
They sure did.
Danny Salazar.
And Cleveland never had a chance, especially once the Kansas City Royals get into the 6th inning with their bullpen.
Oh, so nasty. They'll take the walk. First 2 runners on against Matt Lidstrom, and Brian Holiday stands in. Joe Nathan warming up in the Tigers bullpen, hoping to close it out. A pinch runner, Don Kelly, in for Nick Castellanos.
And the bunt is in order here for the Tigers, if they choose to do so, with Brian Holiday standing in the batter's box. Brian can really handle the bat. And if Brian is up there bunting where he wants to try to bunt it is down toward third base, and you want the third baseman to come and field the ball, that will open up third base for J.D. Martinez, the base runner, at 2nd.
Last time up, he looked like he was squaring to bunt, and he was intending to push it to the right side of the infield. Squares early here. Down to third, and that's a beautifully executed bunt by the Tigers catcher, Brian Holiday.
You can't even begin to draw it up any better than Brian Holiday executed that sacrifice bunt there. You bunt it hard enough where the third baseman has to come and get it. And therefore, J.D. Martinez is able to walk over to third base. Brian will get a lot of high fives in that Tiger dugout.
Those are the little things in baseball that make a big difference, especially come postseason time when runs are so vital. Now it's up to Andrew Romine with one down to get the ball in play. Even if it's a sac fly, just want to run here.
Infield in for the White Sox.
Romine a couple of pop-ups and a grounder to first. Short and second for Chicago with their toes on the infield grass. 1-1. Lindstrom kicks and fires. There's a sacrifice, a suicide squeeze. What a job by Andrew Romine. J.D. Martinez played some. Brad Ausmus had it on cue, called it up perfectly.
I see you. What a job by Andrew. Suicide squeeze. J.D. Martinez, the base runner, takes off as soon as Lindstrom delivers the ball, and that was not an easy bunt attempt for Romine, who was able to get that ball down and gets himself an RBI in the process.
Oh, what a time to do it, too. Rajay Davis fouls the first pitch away. Some people call that small ball, Rod. Winning baseball here, 4-1 Tigers.
It's worked to their advantage. The sacrifice bunt by Brian Holiday, which set up the squeeze bunt by Romine.
If he doesn't get that down, if he misses it, J.D. Martinez is meat at the plate. Don Kelly moved up to third. Davis takes it in close, and it's 1-1. Showed you Joe Nathan earlier. Joakim Soria warming up as well. Tapper to short. It's going to be a tough play to get Davis. Safe at first. Kelly scores. And the Tigers now lead at 5-1.
Once the ball gets over the third baseman's head, Gillespie, with as aggressively as Alexi Ramirez had to go to his right, throwing off balance, there was no way he was going to get Rajay Davis. How about that? A sac bunt, a suicide squeeze, executed perfectly, and an infield single by Rajay Davis.
I was just thinking, this club has scored 2 runs in this inning on 2 singles, and one of them was an infield hit.
And this is the kind of team that the Tigers did not have last year going into the postseason. They could not manufacture runs like they manufactured here in the 8th.
You're right.
Last year. That's why the trade of Prince Fielder to Texas. That's why they brought in Ian Kinsler. That's why they signed Rajay Davis. That's why they brought in a guy like Andrew Romine to play shortstop, handle the bat.
Sometimes those 222 averages don't tell the entire story on what a guy can do or contribute in certain situations. That's been the case with this club most of the season. Ian Kinsler stands in. First pitch is outside. Kinsler doubled. Big run in the 7th. Doubled and scored. Walked in the 5th. Walked in the 1st. He's been on base 3 times in 4 plate appearances today. Davis on the move. Flowers no throw. Look at how good Detroit has been late in ball games. This month they rank 1st in the American League in hitting and on base plus slugging.
That's very encouraging, because usually when you get 7th inning or later, you're getting it done against specialized guys that throw 95, 96 out of most teams' bullpens. But the Tigers have been very successful under Wally Joyner.
They also have 4 runs in the 7th inning or later today.
Darnell Coles also assists Wally Joyner. Both guys have done a really nice job with the league's leading hitting team.
Kinsler ahead in the count, 2-1. Lindstrom, the 3rd Chicago pitcher. This one is ripped foul. Chicago will have their 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up in the 9th. It's full.
Rajay Davis has just stolen his 35th base of the year. The Tigers as a team in 2013 stole a grand total of 35 bases.
Yeah, they weren't even a threat a year ago. Kinsler pokes one to left center, and that'll drop. Davis will score, and the Tigers now lead by 5. Have a day, Ian Kinsler. The 9-1 hitters.
And Tigers have now gotten themselves out of grand slam distance. It's a nice job of hitting by Kinsler. A breaking ball that was down that he was able to lift off the dirt and get himself another hit and another RBI.
89 runs driven in by Ian Kinsler this year. He's got a couple of more hits. He's got 184. He continues to add to his career best in that category as well. Another pitching change for the White Sox. We'll be back with the Tigers up 6-1 on Fox Sports Detroit. 5-run lead on Chicago. The most popular way to follow the September pennant races is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, replays, reviews, scores, live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV game of the day, and a whole lot more. Get At Bat for your smartphone or tablet on the App Store or visit MLB.com. If you were on that app, you would know that Justin Verlander was outstanding today. And you would also know that now Daniel Webb makes his 55th appearance in a Chicago uniform this year.
And Daniel Webb's got a fastball that will get all the way up to 98 miles an hour. He's a hard thrower. Average fastball about 96. He also has a slider and a changeup. Not many changeups to the right-handers, but he will throw that pitch to the left-handed batter.
Team's batting .233 against him on the season. Torrey Hunter 500 on the day. And in his 17th game against the White Sox there this year, 22 hits and a batting average of .333 plus. Impressive. Single in the 3rd and the 7th for Hunter. Ground out to 3rd back in the 1st and a strikeout looking in the 5th to Chris Sale. Punched foul. Anytime you go into the Tigers clubhouse before a game, if you go visit Torrey Hunter, his locker is in the far right back corner of the clubhouse, or closest to where the equipment room may be for some. But it's always good to visit with him because of the smile and because he keeps you at ease. I mean, there's no panic whatsoever from Torrey Hunter. He understands what it's like to go through something like this, and he embraces it. He loves it.
He's had a really nice big league career and does not have a world championship, though. That's the reason why he came to Detroit.
Right. One pitch.
And when Torrey Hunter hit the free agent market before last season began, the Tigers had as much interest in Hunter as Hunter had in the Tigers.
Kinsler on first with 2 down. The 3-1 pitch. Walked.
Here's a call, Sam. Call of the game in the 8th inning. Earlier, Romine in the batter's box. J.D. Martinez on 3rd. Suicide squeeze executed beautifully by Romine. It was not an easy pitch to bunt to get on the ground, but he was able to do so. Jim Leland, who I saw earlier here today, is in the ballpark, and he used to say when he put on a squeeze play, he used to hold his breath until one thing happened, hoping that the hitter got the ball on the ground. And Leland did not like to call the suicide squeeze.
I don't blame him. But when you have guys who you trust, guys who can do it, Andrew Romine is a very good bunter. This team actually has a few good bunters on it.
There's a lot of scouts here in attendance. A lot of the scouts from all the other teams the Tigers are going to play in the postseason once they get there. And there's no doubt they well documented the fact that Ausmus has put that bunt sign on. The squeeze play, you just don't see it very often. Not only do scouts, not only is there one scout, but there's 2 scouts for every team.
And they're easy to find, too. They don't look like your average baseball fan. Credentials kind of give it away. Cabrera swings through an off-speed pitch, and it's 1-2. Oh. Some might have a Jugs gun in hand, taking consistent notes.
Those 2 gentlemen right there, they work for the Tigers. That's Scott Reed on the left, David Chad on the right. And Scott Reed handles the pro scouting department, and David Chad, he kind of handles the amateur scouting department. Both guys very vital to the success of the Tigers.
Cabrera strikes out. We head to the ninth. Detroit looking for the knockout punch in the Chicago series, showing Tigers strong on a gorgeous day in the Motor City. Already up 10.5 in the West. This is the tightest race in all of baseball. The Tigers leading Kansas City by 1. A tough chore for them today to get to Chris Sale. They scored 1 off Chris Sale. They have beaten up the White Sox bullpen, and now Detroit turns to its bullpen. Joaquin Soria with his 47th appearance on the season.
47 strikeouts for Soria, 6 base on balls between the two teams he's pitched for this year, the Rangers and now the Tigers.
The number 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Chicago. This is the 12th appearance for Soria in a Tigers uniform, and quickly ahead 0-2. Poke to left. JD Martinez got a really nice break on the ball. And he's made 3 of the last 4 outs for Detroit.
And there was a time earlier this year where Brad Ausmus was simply taking JD Martinez out and for a defensive replacement late in games, but he really hasn't done that lately.
He's done the same thing with Rajai Davis, and he said the reason is because JD Martinez has left him so comfortable. He hasn't had to move Davis to left and Carrera to center because of the way JD Martinez has played his position late in games lately.
I think a lot of it factors into JD Martinez's bat as well, very late in games.
Diane Visaedo, he had that RBI triple with 2 down back in the 6th. Was left stranded there, and Rod, you brought it up at the point. I mean, it's a big out that Justin Verlander got against Jordan Danks. Got him looking. Otherwise, who knows what type of inning that could have been.
And Justin was outstanding again here today. Second consecutive start. Had not walked a batter. Pounded the strike zone. Topped out at 96 miles an hour.
So much nicer when you get a 5-run cushion. You can attack hitters differently. Sets up your pitches totally different. Soria ahead 1-2 to Visaedo.
Last couple of days, really important starts for the Tigers with And David Price nearly completing his game last night. Justin Verlander pitching 8 innings. The bullpen for the Tigers is in really good shape.
Deep into bowl games, right? Off-speed pitch, got him.
We haven't seen Soria throw that eephus pitch a lot this year in a Tigers uniform. He used to throw it a lot when he was with the Kansas City Royals. About 68 miles an hour with this bender.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout, and now Jordan Danks, who has struck out twice in 3 plate appearances today, faces Joaquin Soria. The Tigers one out away from their 88th win. Caught the corner.
Soria has thrown 10 pitches, 9 strikes.
That's what you want out of your bullpen. Barely missed. A 1-2 pitch. Grounder to first. Cabrera takes it himself. And the Tigers are a season best 18 games above 500. They blow out the White Sox 6-1. And their magic number to clinch the division is down to 4. Justin Verlander, the top of the order. The Tigers get a lot of contributions and a lot of high fives. More to come from Comerica Park in a moment on Fox Sports Detroit.